Welcome back everyone to another video by me, Max MIY, and today we have another replay in the FV4202. Now, this armor profile is very interesting. Now, with the changes to the way that penetration works, this armor has gotten better. Now, for a standard medium, I've taken the example of the T62A, shooting at it. And this is what's interesting about the FV4202. Its main weakness isn't anything other than, like, this lower plate is very small. It is very small. So instead, your weak point is the turret. Now, as you can see, even then, the turret is very, very weird. You angle it, and it becomes red in whichever direction you angle it to, obviously making the other side less so. But even then, you have these sides over here and this upper section here. So in a poke, if you have your gun, oh my god, is it gonna let me? So if you're using gun depression to poke a ridgeline, and you poke and they see this and shoot at it, by the time that you're retreating, they are most likely going to bounce off of this red cap that you have over here. Even at a less steep angle, this is true. The sides are more or less irrelevant, and yeah, this is it. You have a very strong upper plate and a very troll turret, but not on flat ground. You do have to use gun depression. With that out of the way, let's get into the replay. So we begin on Castilla. Now with Castilla, it is a medium-oriented map, so already I have a slight advantage. Especially on this map, there is the position up the hill, which is very important, and there's a way to get to it, which I really like, as it lets me get a shell out into my opponents before they are able to figure out what they are doing. And as you can see, I make this turn here, and as long as you have enough speed, you're going to be able to make it up this hill exactly like I did. Now, I am not trying to take an advanced position. I'm not trying to hold. I am pushing in ahead because I know that I'm pretty fast, and I'm most likely going to be able to shoot whoever's coming and spot whoever is not. Now notice, I didn't know what tank was going to be in front of me, so I prepared for anything. I didn't load high explosive squash head. I loaded regular AP shells, aimed in, and was able to hit the T62A, who was in return not able to hit me because he doesn't have enough gun depression. If you notice there, I switched to my high explosive squash head because I knew the way that he was going to retreat. And again used it because I already knew that I was going to be able to penetrate the Murad. This is what is so important about the 4202. You have to more or less know what tanks you can penetrate and what tanks you cannot penetrate. That is what is important when driving a vehicle with HESH. That little time that you're going to have to experiment and see what you're going to penetrate and what you're not going to be able to penetrate is going to take some time. But once you know it, it is going to elevate your gameplay. You're not going to have to think, oh, should I maybe switch, should I maybe not? In general, I would recommend, if you're not sure, don't load HESH. Right? If you're not sure, just do not load it, because that is going to take away valuable time that you could be shooting instead. Like that shot on the Type 71. I probably could have penetrated the side of his turret with HESH, but my main goal is to get him out of that game. And the fastest way to do that is to use my damage per minute to shoot as fast as I can. If I'd waited around and tried to dilly-daddle, I wouldn't have gotten that shell out on the Murad, for example, where I was switching and eventually switched to high explosive. Now I decide to jump in and follow him, whereas my 907 decides to stay up on the hill and be safe. Now, there's my first shell, and I don't want to lose health. I shot HE, and now I know that AP will clear him, so there's no reason to use high explosive squash head. Anyways, that's also a very important thing. When using this type of ammunition, you really want to keep a track of your enemy's HP and how many shells it's going to take to clear them. If you clear them with 2 shells no matter what, then there is no point in firing high high explosive squash it. There, you should just shoot 2 times with AP. There's also situations where you might want to clear a vehicle where it would also help. Here, unfortunately, I think I miss the SPHT accidentally. But at this point, I am in farming mode, and I understand that it's probably not a good mentality to have, especially considering that we could possibly lose this. Now, that just shows how accurate this gun is, how awesome and incredible it is. And you're about to see another moment like that. Of course, it was displayed before with the Type 71 engagement. You can go back and take a look at just how many times I was able to hit that hatch. But that shot specifically, that is another thing that the 4202 is just excellent at. These mid-range shots, not long range, but mid-range shots, it is so good at. And now I'm able to get this clearing shell into the 116 F3, and that is the game. Now, I hope you learned something. This was a pretty good battle to show the strengths of the 4202 and its capabilities. It was a good example of where and how to use HESH. Thank you very much for watching my video. Have a good time. See you next time. Bye-bye.